One thing you'll realize meeting Kevin is like he's like the most humble and nice person like you've ever met, you know. But then that is until like he starts getting like a few pints in him, and like you can always track how drunk Kevin is by how much more Australian he is. So at the beginning of the night, you're like you might not even know that he's Australian or something like. He's like way too polite.
Kevin is either extremely professional or extremely unprofessional. there's no middle.
That doesn't sound like I don't know what you're talking about. Fuck it. Give me a lighter. Yeah. Oh, that's a flip.
Because I remember, like, because you were saying, like, I definitely experienced that this weekend, right? Because, you know, obviously, like, during the convention, you know, we'd go out and have a couple of drinks and all that kind of stuff, right? And it's like, you know, that Friday night where we were out, you know, drinking, and we got that Burger King at like 2 a.m.
Man, and bringing that up, you want that to be committed to YouTube? Bro?
Yeah, because like, you know, Garth was saying like, you know Kevin is drunk because he just gets like exponentially Australian, right? And I think that Burger King night was the most Aussie I've ever heard Kevin.
I was so bitter about that burger. It fucking sucked. It was so shit.
It's Burger King.
Yeah, I know, but like there was like first it was fucking 2:30 in the morning. I was like, there's only so many old fashions I can have.
I'm not expecting you to make great decisions here. I'm just saying.
So to explain, it's like 2:30 in the morning. Obviously, everyone's like drunk, and you know everyone's starting to get the little bit hungry, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a Burger King there. And Kevin comes out with like a bag full of what he thinks is like just a light snack, right? What he pulls out of the bag is like the fattest double Whopper that I've ever seen in my life. And he pulls it out of the bag and he's like, in the most Australian way, he's like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, oh, fuck it, I've already bought it, it's whatever.
So just like, this just like goes back to like that fucking izakaya thing where I ordered too much. Can I just fucking hit buttons? Just hit the button.
Oh my god!
When you get a few drinks, you're like, this is an amazing idea.
Yeah,
I can handle all of it.
So to explain that,
So much ambition.
last time we went out to Japan, we went to an izakaya, and then Kevin was like pretty hungry. You know, we started drinking before, but Kevin was like, we
fucking time.
we were hungry, but we were also like just a little bit tipsy. And Kevin thinks, you know what's a good idea? If I order one of everything on the menu.
It's like a 4-page menu. It's 4 pages of menu for just the chicken, and then it was like 4 pages of menu for like the pork.
It was like an onslaught. It did not stop.
Yeah, I've never had to like because it's a fucking all you can eat. Like you can just do it, but like, at the same time, I was like, yeah, we had to, like I was like I had to talk to the fucking staff member and be like, can you stop?
Can you stop?
Any food that you have not physically cooked yet, stop it.
Because it was like there was like 15 different livers, and I'm like, how do you even find this many livers? Like, I'm done.
There's salt, there's shield.
So like we learned that day. If we go to an izakaya and there's a tablet there, we can order. Never give it to Kevin because he's just like, oh, what does everyone want? And everyone's just like, oh, just whatever. And Kevin takes that too literally as everything.
But like, because you know, I think it's just because like, you know, I haven't been back home to Australia in a while, right? And like, you know, I have a couple of mates in Australia who are like very, very awka, but like, you know, Kevin is like next level Australian, especially when he's drunk. So he was like,
a little perf,
so like, you know, going back, it's like he like unwraps the double Whopper, right? Because he already has it in his hand. He takes like 3 bites out of it, and he just goes, "This is shit. This is so shit."
I think I remember that.
What was shit about? Do you remember?
It was so dry. It was like so dry.
It was so dry and it was so heavy.
Yeah, it was like, I fucked up, okay? Like, I fucked because like in Australia we don't have Burger King, we have Hungry Jack's.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if Burger King was like better.
It's good.
It's fucking like Hungry Jack's is like, I would argue way better than Burger King.
Yeah, but not by much.
Not by much, to be fair.
Sorry.
No.
I don't know if I'm crazy, but I swear Burger King, don't they like drench it in like sauce?
I
It's
wish.
so fucking dry.
That would
Right.
be
Like
good.
the burger is like the most like skeleton-esque burger ever.
Yeah.
It's like
Extremely anemic.
Yeah.
I had the
snap the patty in half.
Yeah, I had the chicken like there was like a long chicken burger type of thing, and it was like freeze dried. It was so fucking
Yeah.
dry. I was like,
Yeah, McDonald's is really good fried chicken.
Yeah, it was a
yeah.
bad tactical error that,
Yeah.
that we'll hopefully not make again.
Yeah.
but it's just so hilarious. Just Kevin raging at a double
Yeah,
whopper
I got pretty-
at
yeah.
2:30 in the morning.
I remember I've got a good friend back home. And I remember because I took him to this like really like I there's this Ankara bakery thing on it's called Boiis Street in Mount Lawley.
What?
Yeah, there's a place. There's an Ankara bakery on Beaufort Street in Mount Lawley. In what did I say?
This is Beaufort Street.
Bofa.
I'm a child. I'm sorry. I'm a child.
All of our eyes just like gleam. Like
I'm
Bofa.
gonna blame. I'm gonna blame the dry London air for that one.
Yeah.
Not very successful. Anyway, Beaufort
Very
Street
very
in Mount
subtle.
Lawley in Perth, and like they do like really good kebabs. They're fucking amazing kebabs.
Right.
But my friend was not a fan of them. And I remember because he said the same thing, and he tried to throw it out, and it exploded all over his car. So this egg just fucking went all over his body and shit.
At least he tried to throw it. It's calm.
Yeah. So I don't know why I brought that up. But I was
Yeah.
yeah, but there is like there's food rage. There's a lot of food rage. Yeah.
So back to your music.
Maybe this
Well,
is-
you
this
know
is-
what you
this
should
is the process.
Yeah, you get inspired by dry
Have a
burgers.
fucking shit burger and go write some fucking angry music.
Oh my god.
Burger fucking sucks.
Oh my god.
Music.
Yeah.
Why don't you call like a track and shield hero just like dry chicken sandwich?
I have started going like more like psycho with the naming convention recently, so that might.
I'm waiting for double whopper at 2 a.m.
Whopper and fries.
Double whopper.
The names only appear in like the soundtracks, right? They don't appear in the show, right? So you could just make.
No, I mean, if you're doing like an OP or an ED, they do have the opening. in the opening
yeah.
credits, say like,
That's
you know,
Yeah,
blah, blah, and some
Yeah,
blah,
they
blah,
use
blah.
these tracks. Dry chicken sandwich by Kevin Frank.
Dry chicken sandwich
Drunk
OP
Australian
for
rage.
insert anime here. He was never heard from again.
No, because I did notice in some of your tracks in Shield Hero, like I think the first Shield Hero, there were like some weird names in there.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna get it out now
Here
because
we
there were like some of like the usual suspect names of like generic anime music names,
Yeah.
and then there was
know
just
what's coming.
so you go through this soundtrack list, and most of them are like normal. You have a track that's called "The Rising of the Shield Hero," of
course, the
course.
titular title.
Of course, you have like some isekai type lists, type track called like Game Start and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
you go down to like near the bottom, and then there's a track called like Spirit Bomb. And I'm like, that was that like a cheap Dragon Ball Z reference? Probably is. It's Kevin. Okay, we can get away with that. We can get away with that. And then you're just like boom, boom, boom. And you're like, Kevin, are you kind of running out of names? And then you go down even further, and then there's a track just called Noms.
I forgot about that.
And I listened to the track, and I'm just like, this name has nothing to do with the track at all. And then you go next, it's like Matty Boy.
Matty Boy.
Just
Who's Matty Boy?
who's Matty Boy? I
I
want to
actually
know.
explain this. I can't explain the noms. I'm out on that one. My bad on that one, but
That was a 2 a.m. chicken sandwich.
It's like, I can really go for BK right now. Noms.
what was the first one you said it was? What was it? It was
Spirit Bomb.
Boom. Oh, Boom Boom Boom.
Boom,
You
Boom,
watched
Boom.
the interview? Like with Franco and
yeah,
Seth Rogen.
yeah.
Like the one that like got Sony hacked by North Korea.
Yeah.
No, because like when they finally like shoot down Kim Jong Un in the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking Franco's character just goes boom, 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 and like fires a tank bullet into the helicopter, and that's the reference.
That's it.
That's it.
What's that got to do with Shield Hero?
Fucking nothing.
Is it even like a boomy track? It's just like.
I can't know. I think so. Yeah. No, it is a little bit.
yeah.
A little bit,
I saw
it's like a battle thing.
The
There's
checklist. It was like 50 plus tracks.
a lot. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
How
Yeah.
many?
That's
how
a
many?
big one.
That seems like excessive almost.
Well, I mean, because it was 26 episodes, it was 25 or 26 episodes. So that required. So basically, what happens is, as I'm sure you all know, but just for clarity and all that sort of thing. So there's normally cores, so 1 core, 2 cores sort of thing.
Cores,
like a season, kind of.
So 1 core is 12 or 13 episodes.
Okay.
If it's a 2 core, it's like 24, 25, 26 episodes, something along that length. And so, for example, Main Abyss season 1, of course, is like 13 episodes, so it's
1 core.
Right.
But Shield Hero had 26 episodes, you call it 2 core.
Yeah.
So normally for 2 cores, you don't double the music, but you probably like 1.5 times it.
Right. Okay.
So for Main Abyss, the season 1, I think the soundtrack comes in at 1 hour and 52 minutes or something like that.
Right.
And I think it's about. I think that was actually about 50 something tracks, or like maybe 40, mid 40 tracks.
Jesus.
But then Shield Hero, it was about 60, 62 tracks. And it's about 2 hours and 50 minutes of music.
And is that like left up to you? Do you decide how many tracks you're making?
No,
or
actually.
Are they like, hey, we need 62 tracks, make them all sound different?
It's actually pretty specific. So what basically happens is when you get commissioned to write anime music, you get basically a massive Excel sheet called the music order.
Yeah.
So when you get the music order, it's basically just like you'll have like M1, like music 1, and then it'll say like main theme. And then like M2 will be like main theme happy version. And then like M3 will be main theme dark version or something like that.
Right.
M4 main theme hero version or something like that.
Yeah.
Just quite generic sort of like descriptions, and they might have some explanation, or they might have some some visual images and stuff like that. So you actually get a lot of freedom, which I really, really like. So if you think about how, like, because they'll have all that sort of thing, and then maybe once you get to like M20, it'll be like battle 1 speed battle, or like battle 2 like serious
that's all they give you.
Sometimes, I mean, we can get very specific as well, but like it'll start from that sort of like slightly more abstract sort of approach, which is actually really, really cool, because that way you actually do have a lot of kind of, like I said, freedom to actually just try to explore different ideas as just like I guess,
And you get the freedom to call a track noms.
Well, I guess the track name doesn't really matter, right?
Because when you're writing it, this has changed. Like my process on this has changed like a little bit since Shield Hero, admittedly. So I probably wouldn't do that again. But it was
a process.
Eventually. When you're writing, what I like to do is try and match a lot of like sort of the textual stuff I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I love trying to match text to the actual visual sort of palette, if you will. Best way, like one of the most sort of basic examples or classic examples I can give is in Maiden Abyss. Obviously, like it's quite a small amount of like kind of kid characters going into like a huge like cavernous abyss. You start to explore, and also you see in the visuals, there's normally a lot of wide shots where you just see kind of the small characters. It just goes like super far. And so like the idea of trying to actually depict that visual sort of stimuli in music is quite appealing to me. It's sort of almost like it's called like word painting, which is basically like say you have lyrics and say I am going to rise up, and then the melody goes I am going to rise up. It's literally like rising with them. It's like
rising with the shield.
Rising with the shield.
With the shield. Well, actually, because in the main theme, it like the violin part at the start does actually rise up, and like, again, it's like it sounds so basic, but it is good fun.
Yeah.
A lot of the like chord stuff in Maiden Abyss also like it's all about dissension. So you hear a lot of like. Normally it's normally going down or up, but like like the whole idea of like things rising and falling as best as possible.